Hi there, this is an introduction into calculating in Excel 2018 federal taxes. I'm just going to show a single filer with a salary income using a standard deduction to demonstrate how Excel can be used to estimate federal taxes. Since our tax laws are very convoluted, and this is only an introduction, I will not be addressing all types of filing status and brackets, deductions, types of income, high earners or low earners. However, hopefully from this video you can generate your own Excel spreadsheet to suit your needs. So let's get started with the demonstration. In the first column here we're going to set up and define what our income is going to be. And in this particular case we're talking wages and salaries. In the next column over we're going to define how much that is. So I've just picked a nominal average income here of $50,000 for the year. Now we set up in our next column over where we're going to have our federal adjusted gross income. That is a sum of the subtotal gross incomes. Then from that we have the deduction of the federal standard single deduction here, and then we add these two together to determine our federal taxable income. This is what's going to be used that we're going to set up over here in our federal tax rate for a single filer. And of course here in America we have the progressive tax table, which is set up of different marginal tax rates. So meaning that as far as each tax bracket goes, you're only taxed that amount for each of the value that you have here for in that particular tax bracket. So let's take a look here at the formula. This is a serial string of if-then statements. So we start off here and we start the first if statement defining the lower portion of what we're going to have on this bracket. So what we state here is if our federal taxable income is less than or equal to the minimum amount in the tax bracket, then make this 0. The next statement we're going to define is the upper limit. If, again, the federal taxable income is greater than or equal to the upper limit of the tax bracket, then take the upper limit of the tax bracket and subtract the lower limit. And as you can see in this case, that's going to give us the value of $9,525. And then the last if-then statement is if the federal taxable income is less than the maximum within the tax bracket, then subtract the federal taxable income from the minimum amount in the tax bracket. Now the reason why I use the dollar signs in front of the cell for the federal taxable income is this way you can go ahead and just click on that and then drag that down, meaning that you're copying and paste that, and it'll shift down for each cell for you then. Then we go over to the next column here and we take the value of that tax bracket times the rate. So in this case 10% of $9,525. Of course when you round it off it's $953. So as we go down here to the next bracket, you can see here in the 12% tax bracket, again now we have 38,000. We're going to subtract the 9,525 because that's what it states here on the third string here of the if-then statement, and then we take that times our 12%, and that gives us how much taxes. Now in this column here we sum up now what we have calculated from each particular bracket. We've also summed what was that we defined from the federal taxable income, which is doing a cross-check, so this column sum here should match the federal taxable income, and then from this then we can go ahead and figure out what our actual federal income tax rate is. In this particular case it's 11.5%. Since we had portions from the 10% tax bracket and also from the 12% tax bracket. So then we take this value and we plug it into our tax column. Now that we've defined what the federal income tax is, let's take a look at Social Security next. Social Security is 6.2% is what the employee pays on their salary. And as part of the, as you can see here, the Federal Insurance Contribution Act, or FICA, but it has a limit of $128,700 in 2018. Okay. Since we don't really have to define the lower limit, because if we go to 0, this would be 0, but we do have to define the upper limit of this. So this is where we come up with the formula then using if-then statements. So if B3, meaning the salary income, is greater than or equal to the upper limit, which is $128,700, then we put a minus sign here to give us a negative number. Then we take $128,700 times 0.062, which is 6.2%. So now that we defined our upper limit, now let's define what's in between. So if B3 is less than 128,700, then we take a minus B3, because we want a negative number, times the 6.2%. So in this instance, we are taking 50,000 times 0.62, which gives us 3,100. Now we also have to figure out what our Medicare tax is. That's the other FICA tax that we have. And again, for that one there, it is 1.45%, but it has no limit. So this one here, then you just take the employee's salary times the 1.45%, and then that gives you how much is paid in Medicare. So now we've calculated all three federal taxes: income, Social Security, and Medicare. So now we take all the three of these and we sum them up here at the top of the column. Okay, and then that gives us our total federal taxes paid. Then we can take that and bring that over here to where I have total federal taxes paid divided by gross income, which then gives us our federal effective tax rate. We can also use the sum value here to determine the net after federal taxes. So that's nothing more than taking the federal adjusted gross and subtracting the federal taxes paid. Now, once you set up a spreadsheet like this, then you can go in and add things in. So if you wanted to, we could add in interest here, which is taxed at the same as the normal tax rate here, and we can add that in and say give it a nominal value, say, of $500 for the year. And you can see here that it automatically then calculates for you. Of course, the Social Security and the Medicare didn't change because those are only based on salary, not on other type of income. Also, we can go in here and we can change the salary. So let's take this on up to our higher limit here of, say, 200,000. And see there, now it automatically calculates that for you. See the federal taxes income, and it shows you now what the federal taxes would be on that salary. Or we can lower it back down, more reasonable area here, say 75,000, and we can black that. Okay, and of course you can do the same thing here with the interest. We can take that up to 5,000. Okay, or we can then, like I say, there are many other incomes as well that could be at the normal standard rate, and then you could just add those into this column here. Okay. Well, I hope you found this video interesting. If so, please leave a comment. Also, if enough views and comments are received, I can expand this into other types of filers, deductions, income levels, and types of incomes. Thank you, and have a good day.